Welcome back to the Junk Room, everybody. It's me, the Junkman, coming back at you with another video, and it's time for me to ruin your childhood. If you grew up in the 70s and 80s, I'm going to ruin some pop culture for you. You'll never be able to look at them the same again. So let's start with number 10. That classic 70s television show, Incredible Hulk. Didn't you love that? You had Bill Bixby as David Banner, and he would say, "You're not going to like me when I'm angry." My dad would always say, "We don't like you anyway." He didn't watch this show for Bill Bixby. He watched it for the Hulk, like many of us. And when I was a kid, when he turned into the Incredible Hulk and Lou Ferrigno came on the screen, I was on the floor just hitting that shag carpet all excited. I couldn't wait to see the Hulk kick some butt. And we always saw the Hulk running through town, running through the woods. But did you ever notice the Incredible Hulk was wearing shoes? Yes, and I'm not talking he was wearing, the penny loafers that David Banner was probably wearing. No, not at all. He had green shoes. And they weren't even shaped like feet where they were trying to hide it. They were just stupid looking green shoes. Take a look. See? Green shoes. The Incredible Hulk was running around kicking butt wearing green shoes. It looks like one of those stupid plastic shoes that people wear today. Hate those shoes. Now, Star Wars fans, mostly Return of the Jedi fans. We all grew up watching the co-pilot of the Falcon in Return of the Jedi, Nignum, whatever his name is. I know I say it different than you guys. Anyway, I always thought this was just a guy made up, with a mask on or something. But check out this picture here. You can never watch Return of the Jedi the same and now see this is Nignum, or Nagnum, whatever his name is. You'll never see the same scene again. Now, before you point it out, because I know you will, I know that behind the scenes photo is Nagnum, whatever his name is, wearing an X-Wing suit. So it may not be the same character, but I would guess they work the same character the same way. Why would they have two different ways to work the character? Anyway, let's move on now to Nintendo fans. Now, growing up in the 80s, we loved Nintendo. And one of the biggest heroes of Nintendo was, of course, Mario. And we couldn't wait to play this game. Either it came with the console or we bought it at the store and we saw that black box with Mario right there on the cover. And we were like, look at that hero. Look at Mario kicking butt on the cover. It's got to be a great game. Well, did you ever look at the box really close? Let's take a closer look. There's Mario, the hero. But wait a minute. He's dying on the box. What an odd thing to show the hero doing on the box. He's jumping across a lava pit in one of the castles, and he's about to fall into the lava. See the lava right there? Yep, Mario's about to die. And that was one of our heroes of the 80s, showing him die right there on the box. I don't know, maybe it was telling us kids subconsciously, hey, this game's gonna be hard. And it was, at least some worlds. So let's move on to Transformers. You ready, Transformer kids? You remember Megatron, the Transformer that turned into a gun? One of the only Transformer toys I ever had, and I love this thing. I wish I still had it today, but I'm sure it's worth a lot of money. But you know what's odd? Where that gun trigger turns up after you transform him into a robot. I don't know if you can see it here, so let's look closer. Yep, that's what you will be pulling on once you transform him into a robot. I don't know about you, but it seems like you'll be diddling some dingleberries with it right there. What an odd placement for a trigger. Now here's one I heard for years and I thought, no way, this isn't real at all. So I've done some digging today and it seems like it is true. At least that's what Jo Beth Williams says, the star of the movie Poltergeist. You know that scene where she falls into where they're making the pool and all the skeletons come out of the mud? It was a scary scene, at least for a PG movie back in the 80s. Well, did you know they used real skeletons? Ugh, real skeletons! I just hope maybe these were actors and they died and they finally got their big break. I know it was after death, but they finally got to be in a major motion picture. One that was produced by Steven Spielberg. According to Jo Beth Williams, whatever happened to Jo Beth Williams? Anyway, she didn't even know they were real skeletons until they made the movie. She said if she knew that, she would have been too freaked out to do the scene. And it seems it was just cheaper to use real skeletons than just plastic skeletons they could have bought at a party store. Where do you even buy real skeletons? And this is one I did a whole video on, but for you guys that didn't see it, here's one that's going to ruin your Star Wars toys. You know that boss figure you bought after you saw The Empire Strikes Back? You love this figure. He was a bounty hunter. Well, did you know? He's just a retooled blue snaggletooth. Kenner wasn't going to waste that mold they had on the blue snaggletooth that they couldn't release, so they retooled it into Bosk. It basically used the same mold. And while we're on the topic of Star Wars, what about the next time you watch the Han Solo scene from the cantina? I know we can get into the whole debate who shot first and which one's better and all that. We all know the original's better. When Han shoots first, it just makes him more badass. Anyway, next time you watch that scene, remember, Greedo's wearing high heels. I guess Greedo was a trendsetter. These were some nice high heel shoes. And you don't have to tell me how Tarkin wore slippers on the set of the Death Star. We all know that, so let's move on.
Huh? What? Huh? What?
Now, growing up in the 70s and some in the 80s, I loved Sesame Street. And my two favorite characters were Bert and Ernie. I could not wait. It was so disappointing if I didn't get to see them during the show. I loved Bert and Ernie. And I don't know if I can ever watch them the same. Because now whenever I see them fussing and fighting and talking smack to each other, I have to remember that one of Ernie's arms is being operated by a totally different hippie. I don't know why, but there was always hippie working these puppets back then. I don't know if they still hire hippies today, but as you can see from the picture, they hired hippies.
Hey, Ma, can I borrow the Harley?
Hurry back, it's bingo night.
Now, if you're a fan of Sammy Hagar, you might not be after this. Or you might even be more of a fan, especially if you don't like Han Solo. Sammy Hagar did a song, I Can't Drive 55. 55. That's about as fast as your grandma drives nowadays. Anyway, Sammy Hagar did I Can't Drive 55, made a music video where he was hauled into court, and the judge in the courtroom, you know what he did? He killed Han Solo. Well, maybe not technically Han Solo, but he did hang a Kenner Star Wars action figure of Han Solo. Take a look.
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
Well, that leaves us with one more, because I narrowed it down to 10. Let's look at Lethal Weapon. Remember that movie? What a great movie. Danny Glover in it. He was just like one day away from being retired. And he would keep saying, I'm getting too old for this shit. Remember that? It was so funny. Well, do you realize the year the movie came out, Danny Glover was 41 years old. And that's a lot older than most of you watching this video. Yeah, he was about to retire. He was too old for this shit. But he was 41 years old. That police station must have a pretty good pension if he can retire at 41. Anyway, that's a look at 10 things that I hope ruined your childhood. Or now when you watch them, you'll say, oh, I just can't look at it the same. Let me know like this video. Maybe we'll do 10 more if you do. But as always, if you like my content, subscribe to the channel. And we'll talk again soon.
Hey, Junkman channel popping though.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.